and this is the potential to be the most awkward fight of the night.
Massive welcome to our co-host that has been sat down next to us. Matthew James has joined the panel to commentate on these two fights.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Stevie. Great to be here, mate. Looks like it's been a action-packed night of fights at the Melbourne Pavilion as we see Killian Freehill take on Ankush Hooda. I think you're right, Stevie. This one's going to be a real sort of tricky affair. A couple of southpaws here. Highly credentialed guys as well, of course. Ankush Hooda, first up, draw against Andrew Hunt a little while ago, which was a very impressive performance. And as we said before, Killian Freehill, it looks like he was a pretty handy amateur back in Ireland, Stevie.
Yeah, two-time Irish champion back there from famous German club in Dublin. Been a while since those days. He's eager to get back into it, but this is a tough first test in the pro ranks for Killian, but he won't shy away from it.
Yes, it seems like he's landing a couple of really heavy body shots.
As Hooda steps up with the double jab there, he's certainly taking control of this round, Hooda. As I think Freehill just trying to find his feet. Stevie just at the pro level, first pro fight. Obviously it's a big occasion for both guys, but in particular Killian making his debut tonight.
Yeah, and you can see it. You can sort of see he's just a little bit stiff in his legs, and I'd like to see him just see maybe this round out and the next round out just to get him to loosen up a bit. He's just a bit tight and a bit stiff for me at the moment, but
it's always a very awkward matchup when you get two southpaws facing each other too, because
as Ankush really applies the pressure here, he's got Killian backed up in the corner. I think this round we're gonna have to give this one to Ankush with just really putting the foot down and looking to apply the pressure as Freehill lands a combination off the ropes.
I think the big difference here for me is the defense of Ankush as opposed to the defense of Freehill. Ankush has got those hands up. He's taking a lot of the shots on the gloves. Freehill is trying to use his evasive skills as his defense, but just hasn't got that timing yet.
Yeah, definitely, Stevie. As we can see, Ankush really landing that double jab to perfection this round. It's been a very effective punch for him as he closes the distance and looks to work inside. Looks like Freehill probably just needs to get to the end of this round and just assess how things are, take some advice from the corner and try and come out with a better second round, Stevie.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get his hands up a bit more, maybe start taking a bit more of those shots on the gloves, and he start getting a bit more comfortable, start settling down a bit. Because when he throws his hands, he looks quite good, Freehill, but it's just in his defense, he just looks a bit shaky for me.
Absolutely, would have been the more confident fighter here.
That is the end of round number 1.
I guess a big occasion, Dave. As we know, it's been a long time for all these fighters being out of the ring, but Freehill to make his debut here at the Melbourne Pavilion, a place where you fought numerous times, Dave, a special moment for Killian and great memories for you too.
Yes, it is a big step, especially too. It's probably one of the biggest shows in Australia. Jake Callis does a fantastic job. He has the lights, he has the lasers, he has the smokes, he has the fireworks, he has nothing but the best ring girls that jump in there too. It just adds some electricity to the room. So you have to certainly admire Freehill for his debut being here in 2021.
And a great sign of his fighting ability to take on Ankush Hooda. He hasn't had a pro win as of yet, but to go up to Queensland and to get a draw against Andrew Hunt probably shows that he may have done enough to win that fight, but not quite enough as he got the draw.
Yes, it's always very hard fighting interstate. You're jet lagged. You've got to contend with interstate judges. You have to contend with, generally you're in quite a budget hotel room.
And you can see the big difference here that I was talking about in the last round. Freehill lets his hands go very nice, but then you get Ankush's defense. He's just so relaxed in there, so confident, and he's looking to fire back as soon as Freehill lets his hands go. For me, that's the big difference so far.
Yes, Ankush seems to have those elbows nice and tight, so Freehill is finding the elbows a lot of the time when he's throwing those body shots. Big 1-2 over the top from Ankush.
Yeah, he's a real sharpshooter, Ankush. He's landed at a very high percentage tonight. Obviously, ready for this opportunity, and he was meant to fight back a year ago in March when obviously COVID hit and that put a standstill to all boxing events. He's certainly hungry for this opportunity and doing a great job so far.
He's walking through Freehill's defence a lot of the time, just walking him down.
Well, that's what I was saying, Dave. I think it's the lack of, really. And you know, he can walk him down at will, because, as I said, Freehill is trying to use evasive skills and reactions as his defence, and for your pro debut, probably not really the route you'd want to go down, especially someone as sharp as Hooda, you know. You want to be getting those hands up and wearing them. You can see it right there now, the difference.
Absolutely, but do you know what, Steve? If Hooda took a half a step back, sat on his punches, let them find the end of his punches, they wouldn't have so much grappling, and he'd probably have a lot more success than he already is.
It just seems like Ankush Hooda is getting the better of the exchanges on the inside as well, guys. He's controlling the outside, seems to be throwing the more effective punches on the inside, which would indicate he would be winning this fight at this stage, I would say.
Well, he's just landing up well, Matty. Like, Killian, for me, just needs to start taking a few more on the gloves so he can get a bit more settled to fire off his counters. At the moment, he's just taking too many shots.
It's one-way traffic here, guys, as Hooda really steps things up towards the end of round 2. Stuck in the red corner at the minute as the ref breaks up both fighters.
Ankush is really cutting off his nose despite his face, though, when he's less than a foot away.
Yeah, you're 100% right there, David.
I mean, he's taking almost 70% of power out of his punches because he's throwing it from a foot away.
But you know, that's going to come with experience too. We got to remember, this kid, it's only his second pro fight too, you know.
Yeah, that's
true.
So
he's got heaps of learning to do, and he will. Like, this is a great fight for him to learn in. And I'm sure he's going to get that. Like, he's got Jerry Murphy, Tej Singh, probably our most experienced middleweight in the corner there. You know, he's got heaps of good people. He's going to give him the right advice. But this is a big learning fight for him. He'll get heaps from it.
Credit to both the boys. They've come in exceptional shape. Both boys are barely breaking a sweat, and they've sat quite a high pace in these first 2 rounds. That is something enjoyable about the lighter boys, is that they have that cardio and they have that ability to have such a higher pace fight compared to those bigger boys. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And they're having a bit of a nap on the canvas, and 2 fights now in under a minute.
Yeah, great spectacle here at the Melbourne Pavilion. We've seen a couple of knockouts to start off the night, and as you said, Dave, we've got a couple of tricky customers here in Ankush Hooda and Killian Freehill, a couple of southpaws here. Ankush Hooda, 0 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw, and Killian making his debut tonight in round 3 as we look to resume action. I think fair to say, guys, obviously Ankush leading the way at this point, probably 2 rounds up for you, Stevie. What does Killian need to do to get back in this fight?
For me, he needs to start working on his defence. Look, watch him going forward. He actually doesn't do a lot wrong going forward. He throws some great shots. He's got some very good hands. Probably a little bit off balance, as Dave alluded to with Ankush. Hooda, like, both boys are throwing a bit heavy on the front foot as opposed to sitting down on the back foot, so they're a bit off balance. But for me, the big thing with Killian is he's got to work on that defence, so he can get himself in positions to fire back the counters. For me, he's just taking a few shots too many, and then Hooda is gone. He's not there to be hit.
Killer landing a really hard left body rip there.
Yeah, definitely needs to put his foot down here, guys, and look to have a convincing round 3 in the banks.
I'd love to see Killer sit on that double jab, which he was throwing at the start of the round, but then following it with the 3, 4, 5, 6 punch after, instead of just throwing 1, 2.
Do you feel that that's going to test the defence of Hooda a bit more, Dave?
Well, that's the thing. I think you're giving, and Hooda's got such a good defence where those double jabs just on the glove, he's having a breather, he's having a relax, he's having a siesta there, saving his energy.
I've seen Ankush do some very competitive rounds with Tej Singh over the journey, guys, and he's a He can certainly hold his own with Tej, who we know is a super tough customer, walk forward sort of fighter, and would give very, very difficult rounds for anyone. So great preparation for Ankush, and he looks in magnificent condition.
Boys, have you ever seen an unfit fighter come out of Murray's gym in Surrey Hills?
Very fit
it doesn't
fighters.
happen. You know, every single one lad that comes out of there is tough, fit, durable. You know, they're prepared.
The 4-round distance, never a problem for any of the boys from Murphy's gym, as you said, Stevie.
Yes, Jerry's very, he doesn't mix his words. He's very, very direct with his fighters.
Oh, wears his heart in his sleeve, Jerry.
Yes, yes.
Straight to the point. And
that's how you have to be as a coach. You have to be a leader in a gym.
This is better now from Killian, but he needs to land shots off that.
Seems like Hooda's taken a bit of a rest this round. We haven't seen the same explosiveness that we saw in round 1 and 2.
If Freehill can have 15 good seconds towards the end here, he'll nick this round.
Yeah, bang on, Stevie. I think this is definitely the closest round of the fight so far, and Killian definitely needs to put this round in the bank if he can, because we think it's all sort of Ankush at this point.
That is in of round number 3. 1 round remaining.
Well, that's the closest round we've had. Enough for Killian to win it, I'm not sure, but...
No, I still would firmly put that round in Ankush's corner. But as we've shown, Steve,
Yes, yeah.
our ability to call the fight so far has been quite unsuccessful.
Always a tough job, guys, trying to predict the rounds. Of course, the officials here at the Melbourne Pavilion, they do a great job in officiating all Victorian boxing contests. Tough job as it is. We thought commentating was tough, but try being an official, guys. It is a tough gig for sure.
Yes, we sit here in our cushy little chairs.
What would you like to see, guys, from Killian Freehill in this 4th and final round? We believe Ankush is up. What type of combinations, what type of strategy do you think needs to be implemented to really test Ankush at this point?
Just needs to keep it simple, I think. Keep it a bit longer. He's the taller fighter. Maybe just use his range a bit more. I would just keep it straight, keep it long. But he's got to be busy.
He's going to have to leave it all in the ring now. He has to know he's 2, potentially 3 rounds down.
But, you know, if he takes a half a step back as opposed to half a step forward and catch Hooda on the way in.
Yes, I think that's the thing. I mean, that's what their corner needs to be telling. Telling Killian, because he probably has the power to do some damage.
It looks like, when he lets his hands go, he's got good, decent hands. As I've repeated it over. For me, it's just been the defense for him tonight. That's probably let him down. Big difference between the two boys.
I guess it's a real sort of tough point in the fight for Killian Freehill at this point. Obviously, we've got Ankush boxing off the back foot. He's really sort of boxing around as if he thinks he's up, and it looks like he's looking to close out the show with a very polished 4th and final round.
Hands very low, very confident. It's fair to say that Hooda has his man measured.
But credit to Killian Freehill for taking such a tough fight for his pro debut. Of course, Ankush Hooda, a very distinguished and talented amateur boxer. Don't be fooled by his record, guys, even though he hasn't had a pro victory just yet. He's a very talented fighter and someone that you will see a lot more of on the Team Alice shows. And I think Killian's certainly done enough to show that he's certainly someone who I think will eventually become comfortable in the pro ranks. But again, a tough first fight to have, and Ankush is certainly outclassing him at this point.
Very, very tough first fight to have, and he's definitely shown there's plenty to work with there, you know.
Yeah, he's certainly no slouch, that's for sure. You can see he's got some good technique, he's got some good power. Refine that a little bit with some aggression, and he could have quite a promising career.
Beautiful jab there from Freehill as Ankush looks to close the distance. 4th and final round here at the Melbourne Pavilion for Team Alice Boxing. Beautiful body shot land there by Freehill on the inside as both fighters tangle up.
Final 30 seconds.
And this is just the point of the fight where Freehill really needs to let his hands go here, guys. It's the final 30 seconds of the fight, and he needs to put an exclamation mark on this fourth and final round if he can.
Yeah, look, I just don't think, you know, Hooda's ever going to give him that opportunity to do that, you know, and he hasn't all fight, and he's definitely not going to do it now. It's just been a very polished, fantastic performance from Hooda, and he wins this easy, and he's done a very good job. And for me, just the more polished of the two, but plenty to work on for Freehill.
Yeah, most definitely, Stevie. Most definitely. As we see the red corner, Jerry Murphy, Tej Singh, they look pretty happy. Can probably put this one in the bag, guys. We have been wrong before, guys, but judging that ringside, I think that was a very decorated performance from Ankush Hooda.
Yeah, tough night for Killian Freehill, but you know what, he'll be back. You know, he look, coming from Ireland, I tell you now, right? He'd had weekends where he'd have 3 fights a weekend.
Yep.
You lose a lot.
Yep.
Not I'm saying you lose a lot, but you know, he'll bounce back from this. You know, he's got plenty of experience. He'll learn from it. He'll come. He'll grow. And as for Hooda, mate, that's a good fight to kick him on. You know, he'll take a lot of confidence from this. And you know, I'll say one thing about Jerry. Jerry not afraid to step his boys up, and that kid's ready to be stepped up a bit.
100%. I think credit to both fighters for taking this fight. Even looking at Killian Freehill at the end of the fight, we don't believe he's got the victory, but definitely posed a few questions in there for Ankush Hooda. You know, both guys could have looked for a softer fight at this point in their career, but credit to them and credit to the matchmaking team at Tim Ellis for putting on such a great fight for two guys early on in their career, and definitely with great skill sets and a bright future in the pro ranks.
Yeah, 100%, Matty. And both boys, I mean, you've got to take away that they haven't had someone just fed to them. They're both standing in there, having a good crack. They're both really showing that they have some ability and something to add to Australian boxing.
You wouldn't want to spar Hooda, never mind fight him. He's just so awkward and strong and fit. He'd just be a relentless.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we've gone to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored the contest 40-36 to clearing winner via unanimous points decision. Red corner, Ankush, Jack Boy.
No surprises there, gentlemen. A classy performance from Ankush Hooda as he registers